Hello everyone, my name is Vashik and welcome to my channel. A couple of months ago I've made a video that I called Can We Trust Our Memory? And in that video I explored the life of a man whose name was Ireneo Funes. He could remember everything he has ever seen, read, heard or felt. He had an extraordinary memory. But although this is a brilliant skill which you and I perhaps would really dream about, imagine if we could remember everything that we have read. It would be brilliant during our university or school years. But all the information that Ireneo Funes could keep in his mind distracted him from thinking. The thing is that Ireneo Funes was a fictional character invented by Jorge Louis Borges. And in this video I wanted to kind of follow up on that story and tell you about a real man whose name was Solomon Shereshevsky. He is a real life Ireneo Funes. He could remember everything absolutely. He was a phenomenon in the first half of the 20th century. The reason why I know about Solomon Shereshevsky is because, as some of you who follow this channel know, I grew up in Russia, and this gave me access to stories that perhaps are not as widespread in the English language. Extraordinary abilities of Solomon Shereshevsky were discovered accidentally. They say that in the 1920s, during the first years of the Soviet Union, rumors start to spread about a man who could remember everything. The story goes that at one of the meetings, Shereshevsky was sitting and listening to the speaker, and some people began to complain that he doesn't take any notes of the party speaker, and that was a terrible crime in the Soviet Union, not to, be careful and be attentive to what superior tells. When confronted, Solomon Shereshevsky said that he can remember everything. He said that he doesn't need to write it down because he can remember everything. Of course, he was interrogated. Everybody was surprised to find him quoting the entire speech of the speaker. He could remember every single word from that speech. And this is how one of the greatest Soviet neuropsychologists, whose name was Alexander Luria, discovered him. Luria conducted several experiments on Shereshevsky. Don't worry, nothing scary. Those experiments discovered a phenomenon that wasn't observed ever before. And that phenomenon is called synesthesia. What synesthesia is, which I might pronounce incorrectly, synesthesia is when you attach as one sensory experience to another. What those psychological experiments revealed, when Shereshevsky listens to music, his brain connects it with different colors. They couldn't decipher how exactly, but every sound was connected with a different shade of color. Even numbers such as 1, 2, or 3 were connected in the mind of Shereshevsky with different images. I'll read it out to you, one excerpt from the book of Alexander Luria, which is called The Mind of the Mnemonist. This is the scientist Luria quoting what Shereshevsky said. He says, "Take the number 1. This is a proud, well-built man. 2 is a high-spirited woman. 3, a gloomy person. 6, a man with a swollen foot." So in the mind of Shereshevsky, he had all those images associated to random things, to the numbers such as 1, 2, or 3. This doesn't make sense to me, and I hope it doesn't make sense to you either. This extreme capacity of Shereshevsky's memory revealed a new ways of how we can remember things. It was the first time that there was a scientific evidence that we can remember things by connecting them together. It seems that the mind of Shereshevsky was doing it automatically, that he was wired that way. I tell in my previous video that Ireneo Funes discovered his extraordinary abilities when he accidentally fell from the horse. But in case of Shereshevsky, it seemed that he was born that way. But there is one thing that Funes and Shereshevsky shared together. They both lost the capacity of abstract thinking, and Shereshevsky had that experience as well. Since he could remember everything, what Luria observed is that Shereshevsky cannot come up with new ideas. He cannot make those connections that seem very natural to you and me. What Luria mentions in his brilliant book is that forgetting is as important as remembering. By forgetting useless information that we don't have to keep in store or recall, we gain the capacity to form connections between the meaningful information. For each of us, it might be different, and I explored this in my previous video, but it is amazing to see a real-life example of Ireneo Funes, of a man who could remember everything. There is no evidence that Jorge Louis Borges knew about Shereshevsky at all. Actually, there is a brilliant book, which I cannot remember the name of the author straight away, but I'll put it right here so you can check it out if you are interested. And that book explores to a deeper level of how, first of all, Borges approached the issue of memory, but it also touches upon Shereshevsky as well. It's quite a short and very well written book, and if you are interested in the subject, I would recommend you to read it. I just wanted to create this very short video as an addition to my previous one, which I'll link up also somewhere down below or somewhere here. I'm still getting used to all those YouTube features.